Hey buddy, watch this.
Hello, Regis Gilbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game, and welcome to the Advice Arena, where I give you advice on playing Arena. This time around, we'll be starting a new run, and we will be choosing Priest. Now, I do think Mage is a better Arena class than Priest, but I do like to mix it up with classes, so this time around, Priest will be our selection, so let's go ahead and jump right into the draft. Up first, Rare, Questing Adventurer, pretty inconsistent card that's hard to get value off of in many ways. So playing it as a 3-mana 2/2 feels pretty bad, and even if you combo it with another card, even a 3-mana 3/3 is not that great. So occasionally, of course, it can go nuts and win you a game, but that's so hard to pull off that just not worth it. Murloc Tidecaller, not good. 1/2 is bad for a 1-drop because it can't trade up very well, and we're unlikely to get a lot of Murlocs, so hard to use. Spawn of Shadows is a solid card just because the stat allocation is fine. The Inspire effect we don't really care about necessarily, but it could help us find a win by killing our opponent, and we will likely have more ways to mitigate that damage with our hero power than would our opponent, so over a long term we might actually gain some value there. Up next, Duskboar. 1 health is bad in general. It doesn't trade very well into anything. It dies to pings, and we can't heal it as a priest, which is unfortunate. Clockwork Knight is actually a solid card just because it's a 5-mana 5/5, so the stats are good. But the Battlecry, somewhat unpredictable and hard to utilize, particularly in Arena when you don't know what you're going to get. So we may never get another mech, making this worse. Flame Juggler, on the other hand, I like a lot. Being able to do 1 damage randomly can sometimes ping off a minion really nicely. Since Mage doesn't have a ping in particular, can gain extra value. 2/3 stats are good, and 2 drops are very important to get in Arena. So we'll go ahead and take the Flame Juggler there. Here, Mad Scientist is pretty bad for Priest. Iron for Grizzly's okay, just as a taunt 3-drop with okay stats. But I actually kind of like the idea of a Burly Rockjaw Trog. It's something we might be able to keep alive over a couple turns. The effect itself is really not that great because there are just so few spells in Arena that it's hard to punish opponents with this. But the stats are okay and gives us some potential to keep a valuable minion on board with a decent stat allocation. So we'll go ahead and grab it. Up next, Dancing Swords is actually a fine card. 3-mana 4/4 does a lot of good trading usually, but the Death Rattle is punishing. Spellbreaker is a pretty solid card as well. Not the best stats in the world for a 4-drop, but pretty strong Battlecry, which can actually be important in Arena, just getting around taunts or Death Rattles. Finally, there's Bog Creeper. I like this card a lot. It's really big body. It has taunt, which is nice, particularly in the late game when you're trying to stabilize a board as Priest, and since it has so much health, it's something that we can heal often with our hero power. It's hard for opponents to deal with. They usually have to push multiple minions through it to kill it. All that works pretty nicely in Priest, plus we will need a couple big minions. On that note, it looks like we're going to grab another big minion here. Flash Heal just doesn't do enough. If you happen to get an Akanai Soul Priest, it might be good as a damage spell. Holy Smite's okay too, but I don't want our deck to be too thin for card values. In other words, a lot of 1s and 2-drops that aren't minions can be risky just because if we top deck this in the late game, it's just way too low impact. Stormwind Champion's a solid body, benefits from having minions on the board. Priest is typically good at keeping minions on the board, so we'll go ahead and take the Stormwind. We do need a couple big minions, as I said, so it works out fine. Up next is Zealous Initiate. As a 1-drop, not that exciting. It's hard to get this to go off consistently, and you might just have to kill it and not actually accomplish anything. Spiteful Smith is fine as a 5-mana card, even though we don't have a weapon. It's just got good stats. But I actually like Nerubian Prophet a lot. This card has a lot of upside potential. If you draw it in that opening hand, it can be a 3-mana 4/4, and eventually it can actually give you a tempo swing in the mid to late game where it's like a 0-mana 4/4, which can be a huge deal when you're trying to recover or build up a board. So we'll grab the Nerubian Prophet for now. This is a tough choice here. I don't really like any of these options that well, unfortunately. Wind Fury Harpy is okay in theory, but it never seems to work out just because opponents always find ways to kill it. It's only got 5 health. We don't really have ways to benefit from the Wind Fury either. Flash Shield, you already mentioned, is pretty weak. Mind Control is just really slow. It's a solid card, but just so slow that you either play it when you're even and maybe do okay. If you play it when you're behind, you're probably still just going to lose. There's just not enough awesome minions to take control of that can swing a game in your favor. So I think we'll take Wind Fury Harpy, even though I don't love it. Salty Dog, just an average to below average card. Low stats are pretty bad in Arena. 4 health, it just dies super easily. So it's hard to get a lot of value. Entomb is okay as a hard removal option. You can remove, a Bog Creeper, for instance, but the second half of it is less likely to get value. Just getting the card in your deck. You don't know for sure that you're going to draw through your deck because you don't have consistent card draw in Arena. There aren't enough high impact minions to make this a big swing card. But I do actually like Museum Curator. Priest needs some card draw in essence, and this is a 2-mana minion, which is nice to get out. But also, Death Rattle cards on average are very good, and you can get some crazy Death Rattles out of Museum Curator, which are going to be higher than average value for an Arena draft. So that can kind of help you improve the overall quality of your deck. Clockwork Knight we already talked about, is fine. Divine Spirit is not very good. It just doesn't necessarily have a big impact. Doubling health doesn't mean anything most of the time. There's no combo potential with Inner Fire or anything to make this good. So we'll probably pass on Divine Spirit. Twisted Organ's actually a fine 2-drop. Stealth minions can have some advantages, and 3 attack on turn 2 is more than enough to trade up into stuff. So it kind of functions as a 2 health 3-drop, or 2 health 2-drop in many ways, even though it only has 1 health. It can't be pinged off. Corrupted Seer is actually a decent card in Arena, just because it's AoE damage. And, nobody has Murloc, so that condition is almost never important. So it's really just like a DL2 damage. So it's like a Holy Nova with a body attached. Now, that does affect your own minions as well, so it can be a little bit punishing if you have a board. Shifting Shade's actually a solid card, I think, too. Death Rattle that draws you a card is pretty good. It's less good in Arena than in Constructed, again, just because people have lower quality cards in Arena on average, so Shifting Shade is going to give you subpar cards most of the time. I actually think I'm going to lean for Sludge Belcher here. Just as we all know, Sludge Belcher is a great taunt minion, very annoying to deal with. Works well in Priest in particular because we can heal it and buff it and stick around longer thanks to it. The Corrupted Seer is debatably good, but Priest has other AoEs. We likely are going to get like a Holy Nova later, for instance, and I'd rather get the Holy Nova than pass up on the amazing Sludge Belcher, because Sludge Belcher is just a sick card. Lightwell, not very good. It just doesn't have attack, so it dies for free, and the heal's really not that impactful. Wormrest Agent's a really good card in Constructed when you know you have dragons, but in Arena where you don't have dragons, it's usually just a 1/4, which isn't very good for 2 mana. Upgrade or Repairbot's actually a really good card, much like the other mech we've talked about, the Clockwork Knight. But this one's even better. +4 health is really more impactful than +1/+1. So we don't have any mechs yet, but we're going to go ahead and grab this just for the 5 mana body, and hopefully we get a mech or 2 to benefit from it. Here, Draconid Crusher's not that exciting without dragons. And we've already got some big minions, so I don't want to go too hard into the late game just yet. Bloodfin Raptor is okay, but I think it's just distinctly worse than Twisted Worgen. Neither one can be pinged off easily thanks to the stealth of Twisted Worgen. The stealth has more upside, and it can trade easily, and it's good for setting up buffs as well. So you can buff a stealth minion guaranteed in the future turn, and Priest has a lot of buffs. We haven't seen any yet, but it's likely that we do get one. Zealous Initiate I still don't like. Circle of Healing is really hard to get value out of, just because you never know you're going to have 3 or 4 minions that have already taken damage. There's no Auchenai Soul Priest. Circle of Healing clear guaranteed because we don't have an Auchenai. So I think we'll take the Aberrant Berserker here. It's not the best minion ever, but it's something. Unfortunately, enrage effects aren't ideal with Priest because you can heal your minions, but then you reduce the enrage, and we don't have any way to activate the enrage. So it's not a good card, but it's kind of the lesser of all the evils there. Mind Control is still too slow. Really, Tidehunter is okay. I like it, as I mentioned. Well, I guess I haven't mentioned that yet, but I like it okay as a 2-drop just because it is 3/2 in stats across multiple bodies. That's pretty nice. But we're going to take the Spellbreaker here. We can afford another 4, and I think a Silence effect is surprisingly powerful. Interesting set of cards. Midnight Drake, really hard to get off and make an impact with. 4 health for 4 mana is not that exciting. We'd rather have 5 health. And the upside of the attack is not that great because you usually want to play a 2 and a 3 and a 4 on curve. So you're not going to have like a ton of cards in your hand on turn 4. So this is like going to be a 4/4 or maybe a 5/4 at best, which is just a normal minion. And then, of course, if you top deck it and you have nothing in hand, it's a 1/4, which is awful. So the potential upside here does not weigh the huge potential downsides of Midnight Drake. Mogor's Champion is kind of similar. 5 health is not good, and the upside of the attack is going to miss half the time. So the potential upside of that high attack is not worth the downsides of its health. So these two cards are different, but operate in much the same way. Arcane Nullifier is not my favorite card ever, but it is a taunt, and we actually do have a mech buff in the deck already, so we might have a way to play this on 4 and then upgrade it on 5 to make it a 2/9, which is kind of scary. We can't actually target this with other buffs, only the Battle Cry. We can't target this with like a Velen's Chosen, for instance, so not ideal in Priest, but it works a little bit with our deck, and I think it was the best of those cards. Wow. Okay, Goldstar Footman's pretty terrible. If it was a 2/1, it would be better, but it just doesn't trade up. Murloc Tinyfin just doesn't have enough to it to matter. Just an awful 0-mana card. We'll take Spiteful Smith here. Again, we don't have weapons, but as I mentioned before, the stats are good enough that it can generate some value. Voodoo Doctor, we definitely don't care about heals as a priest. We don't really need a good 1-drop necessarily either, as long as you have enough 2s, so I don't really care about this. I'm curious about Ancient Brewmaster, if we have anything that benefits from being returned to our hand. Not really. Like good Battle Cry minions, perhaps this one. That's really it. The Museum Curator would be okay. But not that much value. I think we'll take the Cavaldier Raider here, just as a 7-drop that's really big. It's basically a 7-mana 6/6 with an upside to get even crazier, so that can make plays against our opponents. Bluegill Warrior is a fine card. It trades into 2 health, 2-drops pretty well. Stone Tusk Boar is bad. Doesn't do anything. We have no beast synergies. But actually Shadow Word Pain is kind of just the better Bluegill Warrior in this instance, because it can still kill those 2 health minions, but can also kill a lot more stuff, like the Aberrant Berserker, for instance, or the Burly Rock Chatrog. So Shadow Word Pain is a fantastic card. Alright, so we don't really like Harpy. Dragonling Mechanic is okay, but not that exciting. It's really just kind of a vanilla 4-drop. Razorfin Hunter is the same as Dragonling Mechanic, not that exciting, just a vanilla 3. But you'll note that we have 0 3-mana cards so far, so we're definitely going to take the Razorfin Hunter here, just on the concerns of our curve, mostly. Hungry Crab, not that good, super unpredictable to find a Murloc. Twilight Summoner, not that good, but actually pretty decent just because it is 6/6 in stats. It does take a little while to activate, but you'll usually be able to do that just fine. Clockwork Giant, pretty hard to pull off in Arena just because people's hands are usually empty, not full, so not a great card. We'll take the Summoner there. Okay, Corehound, as we've mentioned before, not enough health, too much attack, too expensive, not great. Mind Vision, it's okay, I guess. Card draw is fine. It does give you some information about your opponent's hand as well. We have Museum Curator to draw cards, and I guess that's it so far. Chillwind Yeti's a solid minion, good drop, but we already have quite a few 4s. So I'm kind of thinking about Mind Vision here. We have 6 4-drops actually, yeah. So we need to, I don't think we can take Yeti. We're pretty heavy on 4s. Let's go ahead and take the Mind Vision. Might turn into a 3, it might get us some value. Frostwolf Grunt, not exciting. 2/2 is nothing. It dies to 2 3s for free on 2. Mookless Champion is okay, but we don't necessarily have like a flood style deck that's going to have a lot of minions out all the time. But we do need some 3-drops, so I really like Silverhand Regent. It generates lots of value and has a solid body itself, so good card in the mid and late game. Master Swordsmith doesn't do much. As a 1/3, it dies too easily to other 2-drops, and the buff really doesn't make a big impact. Blackwater Pirate, we have no weapons and the stats are bad, so no good there. Excavated Evil is actually a solid card just for AoE removal. If we fall behind, this is the kind of card that can get us back into the game, so I like that one a lot. Zealous Initiate, still not good. Pit Fighter is a really solid 5-drop, but we're pretty good on 5s. We have 4 good minions and a spell. We will take the Northshire Cleric here. Helps our early game curve, and it's card draw, which we need some of for sure. On that note, we'll actually take the Acolyte of Pain here as well. We still need some more 3s. We have a gap here. Magma Rager's awful because it only has 1 health. Spiteful Smith is fine, but we've already got 1. And the upside on Acolyte of Pain is much higher. Okay, Clockwork Gnome is actually a fine 1-drop, but probably not that good for us despite the potential mech synergies. We really just have the 1 mech synergy, and we have another mech to benefit from that. Bog Creeper's still very, very good, but we're actually kind of okay on late game drops. We could take 1 or 2 more if we had to, but I think we need more 2-drops. We really only have the Twisted Organ and the Flame Juggler that are like real 2-drops. The Museum Curator's a 2-mana card, but doesn't have the stats of a 2-drop, so I think the Youthful Brewmaster is going to work pretty well for us here. We can play it on 2, we can pull back some cards for value too. Alright. Mechanical Yeti's a solid card, much like the Chillwind Yeti, but has a slight benefit. But we don't really benefit from spare parts more than our opponent might, so not a huge upside there. Power Word Tentacles is okay, but I mean, it's only really good if we get it on a good minion, like maybe an Acolyte of Pain or a Silverhand Regent or something that can generate extra value out of those stats. Otherwise, I think it's too slow, and it's bad on turn 5 if you don't have a minion, right? So kind of risky. Psychotron, on the other hand, is yet another mech, which is nice, and another taunt, which is nice. And overall, I think a solid card. So we'll go ahead and take the Psychotron. Tournament Attendee is an okay card, I think. It's just fine. It trades up. It's taunt, which can matter. Powered Glory is not that good. We don't really care about heals too much in Arena. Puddle Stomper, we're actually going to take just to get another 2-drop on the list here. Not the best card in the game, but curve considerations, I think it's pretty good. Silence is very weak in Arena. It's just because it's a 0-mana card and doesn't do anything other than silence, unlike the Spellbreaker, where the silence effect is strong and you get a body. So there's a nice combination there. This one is just, as a 0-mana spell, it thins out your deck too much. You don't have enough raw power. Iron for Grizzly's okay. We could honestly use another 3-drop. But we have a lot of taunts, and this one's not that exciting. Museum Curator is actually better. Could give us a 3-drop. Has card draw. Oh, the final card of the set is a good one. Stalag, not that good. Much like other ones we've discussed. Too high attack, too low health. Vol'jit's a really good Arena card because it sets up great trades, but nothing tops Dr. Boom. Dr. Boom is the ultimate 7-drop, and we can afford 1 more late game card, so definitely an easy choice there. I think Dr. Boom might be the best card in Arena outright, so fantastic. All right, so that'll do it. Okay, here's our list from Mind Vision down to Sludge Belcher, from Spiteful Smith down to Stormwind Champion. Overall, maybe not too bad. We've got some card draw, we've got some average quality minions, we've got some taunts. I'm a little worried about our early game curve because that 3 is pretty weak, and the 3-mana minions we have aren't that good. But between like Twisted Organs and Museum Curators, we might be able to trade up and fill in the gap a little bit. So I think we're okay there. Mind Vision too. could use a little more AoE. We really just have the Excavated Evil, which punishes us as well. Would have liked to seen one Holy Nova. But overall, we got some stuff that can do stuff. I don't hate our deck. Dr. Boom in particular is pretty exciting. So on that note, we'll go ahead and call this the Boom Priest. It's the Boom Priest because of Dr. Boom, and we can make things go boom with Spawn of Shadows as well. So the Boom Priest. Let's go ahead and jump into our first game. See how it goes. I don't know if this wait time 6 minutes. That can't be real. I can't believe that. Hopefully it's not really 6 minutes. It's not an unusual time. I don't know how well this deck will do. It's always hard for me to judge. Priest in particular. Our hero power's not impactful on the board immediately. Like, we have to have stuff out for our hero power to matter. So it's worse than hero powers like Rogue or Mage, which can always do something. Sometimes ours just doesn't do anything. So if you have turns where you end up hero powering and you don't accomplish anything, that's pretty bad. Okay, so I guess we're about to launch scheduled maintenance. Is why the queue is taking so long. So we're going to cancel this queue and jump back in soon. See you soon. Okay, so I had a little trouble getting this priest run off the ground, but now I'm back. And we'll see what we can make of the Boom Priest featuring Dr. Boom. Jumping into the first couple games of this run. We've had a good stretch of arena runs lately. Nothing in the double-digit wins, but still a lot of 7s and 8s, which I'm quite happy with. As long as we're not in that 3 to 4 range, feeling okay about our arena success. We'll see how the Priest does. Traditionally not one of the best arena classes, but this list has some legs, so if we get to that Dr. Boom turn in any given game, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. A worthy opponent. Wow. Alright, Druid, traditionally a more late game oriented arena class, so that'll be pretty good for us. I definitely don't want the Excavated Evil or the Cavalry Raider, but I wouldn't mind sneaking in an early Mind Division. It's kind of greedy because we definitely want to make sure we get those 2-drops and stuff. So risking keeping this in the mulligan, it can be punishing. But yeah, we did get our 2-drops, so we're pretty happy. We even got a 2-drop out of the Druid, so we know this is coming on 2. You might even coin it out, because otherwise if he plays this and doesn't coin, he risks forcing his hand with the Wild Pyromancer and the coin in a later turn. Or, you know, he'll just do that, which is also a thing. I don't have a 3-drop right now, and the Museum Curator kind of contests, like it doesn't kill the Nerubian Egg if he somehow has a magical way to activate it. So I'm going to go ahead and play that and look for a card. Here I think I'll just take the Piloted Sky Golem. Toshli's also pretty good, but this just has 2 bodies attached to it, which is even more valuable than the spare parts, I think. It's really, really debatable. Obviously one's a legendary, one's just an epic, but I miss Piloted Sky Golem more than I miss Toshli in the Old Gods era, so I was kind of looking for like a on-curve play. We don't have one right now. We'll go ahead and play the Twisted Worgen. No, it's too susceptible to the Pyromancer, isn't it? Any spell will kill this for free. So I guess we'll just play our own Pyro that we stole from him. It probably reveals our hand of what we stole, but that's okay. He's got an easy trade here, unfortunately, and I don't have a spell to punish it right now. Twilight Summoner's pretty good to play in a Pyro, though. We basically have the ultimate Nerubian Egg. He's got a good Nerubian Egg. We've got the slightly better Nerubian Egg, so we'll see how it goes. Ah, interesting. He preferred to set this up. I don't really have a good way to punish it either. This is going to go to 5 attack. So playing one of these 5 attack things does not seem really healthy. But this doesn't either, right? This doesn't trade very well either. Simply because if he trades into the Museum Curator, this will still not kill that with 1 attack. So we likely have a 5-1 on the board, threatening our 5-5 Twilight Faceless Destroyer. So the Berserker doesn't feel good either. I guess this one is probably the best, simply because if he does have to make this trade, we can punish it essentially that way, right? But we have to wait. We certainly don't want to activate the Enrage first, because that sets up the free kill. But if we do it right, we can get value out of our Curator, which is nice because really this body doesn't often get value as a 2-drop. It's much more about the card draw. That's kind of scary, but not that bad. So here he's setting up an easy trade for us. Question is, what do we follow it up with? Probably just play the 5-drop on curve here. I don't see the need for any shenanigans. Although, if he makes this trade, this will be at 2 health. So, no, I think we'll still just do it the right way. Just play on curve. There's nothing else that's a smooth curve, right? We could do a 2 and a 2 or a 4, but then we float some mana. This isn't the most beautiful setup because this kills it anyway. So he gets a free kill on the nullifier, but still, just play it out. No reason to get fancy, right? That's a little worse if he can kill this with the egg. He can. Okay, so he gets a free trade here. He might sack the egg first. No, he's not. Interesting. So this kind of allows me to ping off the direwolf here without summoning his egg. I won't do that just yet, though. I could actually play the summoner, right? And the twisted worgen. Huh. That means he couldn't kill the egg and it would give me time to kill the direwolf. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to get sneaky here. I guess he could still kill the egg, but he has to summon my dude for me if he does it right. So I get my own egg, essentially, in trade. Whoa. I like that. I need cards. I have a feeling my cards are going to be slightly higher value than his. Plus, it gets me closer to Dr. Boom, right? So yeah, see, he is going to get this, but this doesn't pop his egg. So he could. Oh, he couldn't actually do it, right? Oh no, he could have. He could have ran the wolf in to kill it, and then traded this way. Now I essentially get to deactivate his egg again, which is pretty chill. So I think I'm probably going to play the Belcher. This thing is annoying. I don't have a good way to pick it off, right? So probably just going to Belcher Museum Curator. In which case I'll trade into the Cold Light Oracle. I'll let the Belcher die to this. It's preserving my higher attack minion. I certainly sacrificed the first half of the Belcher, but I'd rather this thing have health than the Belcher because I can heal it up and it still has more attack, right? So it impacts the board. But we'll play the Curator first just to draw and see what we end up with. We don't have dragons, but it's just the best minions. I'm still going to take that. So here's the play we anticipated making. Again, free trades, but then this lives to attack another day. And it's a much more valuable attacker than the Sludge Belcher. We don't really need a taunt right now, right? We've got tons of health, we've got heals, we've got card advantage. So sacrificing the Sludge Belcher feels better than sacrificing the Faceless Destroyer. A Wrath definitely punishes this. A Swipe, that's fine. We traded this guy for a Swipe and a Cold Light Oracle. I don't mind at all. And thankfully his egg is still dead. He lost his chance to pop that. That's not playable. I'm just going to go ahead and play this Sky Golem. I'm actually going to pull back the Curator as well just to get this shoot. Oh, I almost misclicked there. Wow. I thought I clicked his egg accidentally. That was scary. I'm playing with a new mouse, so it's got more finicky clicks, so bear with me. So we'll pull this guy back and play the Sky Golem. We now have the upgraded repair bot onto the Sky Golem synergy, if it's possible. Oh, he finally got a way to activate this bad boy. Cool. We're gonna have some good trades here, probably. Oh, cool. We're a priest, so we can use that, right? In fact, we might use that. Can't heal twice, though, unfortunately. It's a little sad. Alright, so I can heal this and trade this, or trade here after using the repair bot, and I'll have 4 mana remaining. And then I'm going to go ahead and heal this, which will activate this attack, but I'm going to play the Flame Juggler as well, If a Flame Jungle hits one of these, it'll enable a trade, right? So there's a 2/3 chance we get a really nice trade here. Nice, we did get it. We'll heal this guy. We'll trade here. We have a monster board now. This is unbelievable. He's finally gotten value from that Nerubian egg, but it took so long that we're just super ahead right now. Mark of Yasharaj, pretty good play. Threatens our board really nicely. Second one, wow! That really threatens our board. We do have a decent trade, though, all the same. Farseer's a pretty good play. We can play the Deathwing, but I think we're actually better off splitting resources. First things first, I'm going to go this way. I do not want the ping to hit my upgraded repair bot because that forces me to hero power it. So we'll see where the ping goes. Oh my gosh, that's cool. Just can't use it, but it's cool. Yeah, so the ping did hit my repair bot, right? So see, this ruins this trade. I could have traded first and healed, but I was just hoping it missed. I can actually go this way now and heal, and it's still pretty awkward for him. I'm just trying to deny a hero power clear on the upgraded repair bot. So it looks like I'm going to have 8 mana remaining. So I'll just go ahead and play my 4 mana guys that I like and make that trade as indicated and hero power. So I would have rather traded into this one, obviously, because if you look, all these things have 3 attack, and that was a 3 health minion. But because of the way the ping landed, if I traded into there, I would have either lost value on the heal or had to kill it. So, interesting. He's got some big stuff, right? Wow. It's a pretty good play. I don't know if that's right. No, he's going to ping it down, of course. Yeah, that's right. I didn't think he had mana left. So I think we'll just boom, right? We'll just boom. We can heal, trade, and then boom. We'll trade this way since this one is enraged, right? It doesn't really help us to trade this one. If he pings it down now, he takes like a ton of damage, right? So, yeah, he can kill the first half of the boom, but we want to get rid of this thing anyway, and we have so much stuff on board, yeah, that we were going to have just tons of damage regardless. And we had card advantage, better cards on board. We were just in a good spot. Alright, so 1-0, let's try again. I like this deck pretty well. There's some cool stuff happening at the very least. The Boom Priest. Could have called it the Doctor Priest, but the Boom Priest is more fun. They should turn this tip off for me. You can purchase additional packs of cards from the shop. No joke. Look at my sales history, Blizzard. I'm well aware. Alright, so we don't really like these cards that much, right? We're going to send all these back looking for 2-drops. This stuff is all so slow. Yeah, it's a 3-mana card, but it's slow, right? It doesn't contest the board. It builds value over a long period of time. That 4-drop was slow. Unfortunately, we got additionally equally slow cards in our opening hand. So we're off to a slow start, it looks like, no matter what we do. Curator's fine on 2, but again, he's really much better for later turns. Puddle Stomper's better. I have to play it even though it doesn't feel good, right? It's a really easy trade. Zombie Chow is probably the best turn 1 available in Arena, so if he has a good 2-drop to follow it up, we're going to be behind all game. It's a pretty good one. Again, Curator does not contest this. The Excavated Evil might be nice once we fall behind on the board. We'll take the Cultist since we don't actually... Explosive Sheep's not bad, right? We'll just go ahead and take the Cultist. I like minions. We have the Excavated Evil, so that's kind of crossing over the Explosive Sheep a little too much. So I think the Cultist will give us a greater diversity of stuff to do. He probably has to trade there. Secret. 2-mana Secret, so that he didn't actually get... Oh! This could be a good play if it hits. If not, I want to play the Summoner. That's probably a Mirror Entity as I really don't want to give him a Twilight Summoner, and he'll get to activate it first. This is bad. I think I have to juggle here. It sure doesn't feel good. Man, it feels even worse because neither of those things happened. It wasn't the entity and we didn't hit. So you definitely made the wrong play. It's, what is that, a duplicate? Duplicate. Maybe a counterspell. Maybe a vaporize. Alright, well, Forgotten Torch is not the best play ever. He's going to ping, it looks like. So I can play a 5-drop here. Doesn't feel good, though. The 3-drop and a 2-drop would be better. Maybe I 3-drop Mind Vision. Test for counterspell, right? Not counterspell. Ooh. It's got some sneaky stuff coming. Alright, so I know this isn't good, right? The Death Rattle is unlikely to get value. He's got a pretty easy trade, but it does eat 2 mana from his hero power, which means he didn't have good 3 and 4 drops last turn, so I think maybe I make his hand a little stuffed. That's a good play. Why didn't he just play that last time? What did he do on turn 4? I don't know. We're almost to Dr. Boom, so we're actually not in a bad spot. We'll just play both of these guys. These actually aren't bad at all. They trade into the Dark Iron Dwarf. Ping is not rewarded. Can't ping the stealth. He can use that, though. Oh, nice. Cool. I'll take it. He can clear it, but then we still get a good trade. And he has to waste 2 mana. Fireball? I don't actually mind a fireball too much either. Again, I got Dr. Boom, so... And we'll actually get to our Fossilized Devilsaur before him, too. That's funny. Yeah, he fireballed, okay. I'll probably just make the obvious trade here. If it's a duplicate, we don't mind. What? Really, game? Really, game? Wow. What? I mean, I knew it could have been effigy, right? But come on. He actually just denied us the Dr. Boom on curve. Wow. I was like, why did Dr. Boom lose his green effect? Unreal. That's a pretty weak effigy, all things considered, right? I don't mind. If he plays a bunch of 3-drops, I may actually sacrifice Dr. Boom again just for the Excavated Evil. A bunch of stuff at 2 or 3 health would be just fine. He's going to coin out the sword. Yeah, that's fine. We'll still do the Dr. Boom because we got ripped off last turn. Well, greetings to let him know that he ruined our on-curve Dr. Boom. Yeah, no joke. Greetings. Oh my gosh, it gets worse. My life is awful. So he actually needs to trade here. He can't ping. He kind of gave us the control here on the... Excavated Evil's not good because I kill my own boombots too easily. I'd really like to kill this thing, right? But I also want to get the Divine Shield gone for my Devilsaur. So I'm kind of in a predicament here. Hope it hits here, right? That doesn't help me at all, actually. Does not... never mind. It does help. It does help. This is a really good... This is actually really good. That was actually a great boombot. I lied. I wanted it to ping off the guy, but I think we just killed all of his big stuff, right? That's a little intriguing. I won't be able to kill it, but okay. I mean, it does give him initiative. I'm not. It's actually a pretty good play, but it also makes me think he might have a lot more big stuff, which is scary. Unstable Portal's scary. That is not scary at all. Okay, that's good to know. He thinks he's got some max. Oh, is that his whole turn? Oh no. Okay, that's actually annoying to us. I have no way to ping that stuff, right? So it's like a guaranteed 4 damage. I'm gonna start summoning 1-drops here. It's definitely not the most powerful play. I'm just really scared of stuff like Polymorph. I don't know, maybe this is just better. He has to use resources to kill it. I can also get out this guy and start building value next turn. I don't need cards, is why I went for this over the Acolyte. So, yeah, if I mean, yeah, he's getting a nice 4 damage attack in here, but he has to have something else. Frostbolt, has to use a ping, has to fireball maybe. So it's likely that this will survive. Flame Strike is good, obviously. But if we eat a Flame Strike on 2 minions, we really don't mind too much, do we? Oh, my own Excavated Evil against me. I'm actually happy to have that back, though. So he has the Blast Mage. We'll probably just Curator into Devilsaur. Let's see what we get first. We get a Tyrion or something, right? Maybe we just Cairn instead. The Toshli actually works slightly better against that thing. Because Cairn, the first half dies for free, right? Toshli can't be pinged down. I think Cairn's just better overall value, though. And we'll heal. Health is valuable against a mage. I don't think he has a lot of stuff. It's likely low drops too. He played some big things already. But we're only at 1 win, right? So who knows what his deck looks like. It may not actually be that good. So he made the smart trade there. But it's still, I think he's just going to get overwhelmed, right? I can actually just draw a card. I think I probably will. In combination with the Cavaldier Raider. To buff it simultaneously. So we have to heal first. It's obviously not getting a lot of value for the trade, but the hero power itself extracted a card and a +2/+2, so super good that he took damage. Thank you for that ping. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do that. Probably would have played this Devilsaur. Hero power in our face. That's sort of good, but this guy's going to get really big, right? Probably just Devilsaur next turn. Yeah, we'll just Devilsaur heal. This guy's an 8-6? So we have lethal on board. Got a board clear. Got some decent minions. I think we're good to go. He could Fireball maybe, but unless he has like exactly Fireball, Polymorph, Doomsayer, I think we're in a good spot. That'll happen, because I said it. There's no doubt in my mind. That's exactly what he has. I think we're gonna see a debate, concede. He's looking for a way out and not finding it in his cards. Yeah, that won't do it, bro. Sorry. Freeze effect technically keeps him alive. Nope, that won't do it. Well played. It's pretty big minions at the end there. I like it. I'm sad that we have this card, but... Alright, so the Boom Priest is 2-0. Pretty solid start. I actually do like this deck quite a bit. I wish we had some removal, like a Shadow Word Pain, or especially a Shadow Word Death. But we got some AoE, we got a solid curve, we got some taunts, got some very big, scary dudes as well. We got some tempo plays. All in all, I think the potential for this deck is quite solid. Oh, we do have a Shadow Word Pain, but no Shadow Word Death, so we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching this slightly disjointed video, and until next time with part 2 of the Boom Priest. Game on.
Hey, buddy, watch this.